I guess we got something wrapped around in here. I'm not sure what that. Oh, that's the original shock spacer. I don't think we're gonna use this. Man, it's like stuck in there. There it goes. I'm coming to you guys from my humble abode in my office because this first clip here, for some reason, has zero audio. So why don't I watch it and walk you guys through it. That's not going to work if I have the audio on. And tell you guys what's going on because it's annoying. It just lost the video. But we're working on Gramps today. That's what I'm saying here. I'm working on Gramps today. We're going to be putting on the front suspension for Gramps so we can get it on the ground and we can get it moved around because I'm ready to finally kind of reorganize the shop, move some stuff around, get some stuff cleaned up. And we can't do that while Gramps is up in the air and with no suspension on it. And now we have everything we need for it. So that's what we're covering today. And it's the same front suspension that we have on Nopar. That's what I'm talking about here in a second because it's the same Viking coilover front suspension that we put on Nopar. And I've actually done some stuff off camera as far as putting the shocks together because I've already done it on another video, which I'll link in the description. We're not probably going to have this ride height as Nopar right here, but it's the same exact parts. So and speaking of parts, we're going to go over the parts. And as I just said a second ago, I went ahead and assembled the shocks, and I've done that on that other video, so you can see it in the description below. But we bought the T-bar Viking coilovers that bolt to the bottom of the control arm. And we also bought there's a bearing that goes in between the shock itself and the coil spring. So we bought that as well. It's the exact same parts. I don't remember the part numbers, but we'll put them in the description. 350-pound Viking coilover springs. This is all for an S10, but it works on our trucks with some modifications, like right here. And these are the lower control arms that I modified with the Speedway Motors lower control arm mount. It's a beefed up mount, and I built these a lot better than I built the ones on Nopar. I was able to get some really good stitch welds all around them. They look so much better. It's I'm really happy with it. I'm actually kind of annoyed that these came out better than mine did, but of course it's the second set and you learn so much when you're working on this kind of stuff. So stock control arms with those, I think they're 1/4 inch thick pieces in. We also cleaned up the spindles, the steering arm, the knuckles, all of that, got it painted and ready to go. And a brand new set of MOOG upper control arms that come fully loaded. You can find these on Rock Auto. They're not always available. I think they do them in batches, so you're gonna have to probably log on to Rock Auto to see those. But you know, we're pretty much good to go. I've already got anti-seize on these guys. I'm covered everywhere head to toe, and here we go. The easiest way I can explain this is when you adjust a coilover, and I learned this last time, it actually doesn't change the tension of the shock. All it does is move the location where the spring mounts on the shock. So if we move this up here, it'll just move the shock in and out. It doesn't change any of the tension. So what I was saying is when you install it, because we can install this in the spring pocket here, hopefully, and then we'll install the shock, we want to make sure that we have enough room to get this in here. Now, the shock is not extended. which I need to do, which that might take me a minute. So I'm going to extend it out. And I guess we got something wrapped around in here. I'm not sure what that. Oh, that's the original shock spacer. I don't think we're going to use this. Man, it's like stuck in there. There it goes. Yeah, we don't need this isolator. Kind of run it without it, actually. So get all that out of there. Then get that shock up in there. Yeah. All right, so basics are there. Let me get this shock extended, get the hardware, and we'll get busy. Up here is where the shock's going through, right? So I can't really get you a good view on that, but man, I'm touching the anti-seize. It's getting all over, but it is what it is. But this part's kind of like any other shock washer. And then the rubber grommet. Then we're gonna put this spring up in place. Now these are the shocks that have the thrust bearing. And there we go. I'm gonna put our rubber isolator on here. Then our washer there, and then put our little nut on for now. There we go. And kind of, oh, I'm going the wrong way. Perfect. So there we go. I'm gonna squeeze in a little bit of that. So here we go. We have the shock kind of just hanging out in place, and we want to make sure the adjusters are out here. We want it facing outside. And now let's get that lower control arm in. Got my lower control arm here. You can't really mess these up because they only go on one way. One side's thicker than the other. There's the back. And now what we have to do is find a way to make this work. I don't remember how I did it previously. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe it doesn't need to be extended out. I don't know. Well, so close. Here it goes. I don't have the hardware though. All right, let's try this one more time. Push up in there, kind of push against the control arm. I'm lined up here. I'll throw a bolt to kind of hang it out. All right, so lined up on that side. Now I just need to get some wiggle room on this side. Let me put a nut on the back of this guy. Come on now. There we go. There we go. Put a nut on this guy. And that way, once we get ready, it'll go up into place. Everything's good. It's inside all the little keepers. So there. So let me run these nuts now if I have my tools. Here. Now, get this thing up in place. We put a little tension on it and we'll tighten the upper nut. I got the jack under the control arm, and now I'm just going to tighten this down just a little bit. I'm going to do it by hand just to know kind of where we're at on that. It does have this little indentation here in case it starts spinning on you, but I'm seeing the washer crush, so that is good. Washer is crushed pretty good. All right, so there's part of the lower control arm with the Viking coilover is in. Got to put the upper control arm on, get the spindle in, and then repeat the process on the other side. So let me get all that stuff out and we'll get on it. .22mm. Throw our grease boot on. Now we take our spindle. When you put, in case you take both your spindles off, the caliper bracket faces the back. Throw our nut on there. We'll tighten it down in a minute. Upper control arm. In. This is a 1-inch, but I think that's because it's aftermarket, so it may not be the same for you. Upper control arm is a 15/16. Now, here comes the sketchy part, which is not really sketchy with this setup. Look at that. Gramps has suspension again. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Fantastic. Do I have anti-seize on my face? Hope I don't. I can't really tell. But check it out. We're all done. Done as we can be. But everything's in place. I went ahead and tightened up these prematurely because this thing's going to need an alignment. So we're not going to know if the caster or camber or anything needs to move on these control arms. And I went ahead and tightened down. I just tightened it all down. Tightened the lower control arm bolts too. I put some weight on it when I tightened those down, but all this will need to be re-tightened once we get ready to drive it, which is a little ways away. We still got a lot of work to do to this truck, but I also adjusted the shock some. I moved them up some because this truck's in the rear is at factory ride height, so it's gonna have a pretty crazy rake when we're done, but I didn't want to go too far up on those, although there is still a lot of adjustment there. So we can move that around as we need to. I'm just trying to pick a starting point and get done. So yeah, we're pretty good to go. It needs cotter pins, it needs grease certs and stuff like that. So we still got all that little minutia detail, but we're gonna keep moving. So it's going good. I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side now, and then I don't know if I'm going to throw rotors and wheel bearings on today, but I do want to get it on the ground so we can try to move some stuff this weekend. But we might be going to the track tomorrow on this thing, so I've got a limited amount of time. But this went a lot faster now that everything's done. I would say it went fast, but this has been a couple-week process because I've been welding and cleaning and painting and all that fun stuff because I wanted the suspension to look brand new because Gramps is in such good shape. And, well, some of the parts are brand new. So eventually it's going to look like this, dirty and musty and stuff. But, we got to start somewhere. And, well, we're on a good path now. So let me get started on this other side. I'll throw you some music on, jam out, throw you guys on time lapse, and we'll see you when that's done. I don't exactly know why, but Gramps looks entirely cooler with the suspension than Nopar did. But I think it's because the front end wasn't on it when I did it. Man, that looks awesome. It looks so good. All done for the most part. I mean, there's stuff to button up, you know. I've got the same thing on this side. I tightened up these bolts, the lower control arm bolts, and I adjusted the coilover a little bit. And I think we're pretty good to go. For now, all I'm going to do is throw these rotors on some wheels and tires and then move some things around. So I'm pretty much done. So, let me fight around with getting these rotors on, put it on the ground, and we'll wrap things up. There you go. On the ground, kind of. We've got the dollies on the ground. I do think if it was on the ground, it'd be pretty level, though. So that's kind of cool to know that we've got enough movement in the shocks to keep it a kind of a stock ride height if that's what we wanted to do. It looks fantastic. I will put all the part numbers down in the description like I did in the last video. Hopefully I still have all that stuff. It's been a while since we ordered it, so but it looks great. So S10 coilovers, and they fit great. I think the reason that no one makes an aftermarket coilover for these things is one, well, the Dakota market is the Dakota market. They don't make much of anything anymore for these things. But two, I think the lower control arms are pretty thin, and without doing that reinforcement, they're kind of not the greatest idea. Although I do know another guy that's put on a set of ride techs, and they said they were fine. So I don't know, but I'm more comfortable doing it this way, and I think it looks fantastic. So, and now we got a little bit more room. The shop is a disaster. I'm gonna have to spend a full day cleaning this dude, which is warranted. It's time. I built some shelves, which I have talked about earlier, so that's what's going to be coming up. But as you can see, the Dakota is not in here because I'm about to go put that dude on a trailer and take it to HMP, Houston Motorsports Park, and do some 8th mile testing today. If we don't have any improvement today, because this air is fantastic, it's turned out to be a really wonderful day. If we don't have improvement today, we're going to at least pull the cylinder head off the truck, but probably going to pull the motor out and see if that rod is bent, which it might be. So, we've got to maybe have to do some diagnosis on that. So once I get everything kind of back together, we'll pull the Dakota in, we'll pull the motor out and go from there. I wanted to move these things around, obviously, because I want access to back here, because I want to be able to bring my trailer in and out, which shouldn't be too much of a deal, but I want to be able to put the trailer back there and get it out of my front yard, just because I'm not a big fan of it being out there. So, plus I may be getting another trailer before too long, so that's kind of on the agenda. But yeah, I want to be able to kind of get in and get out like I, designed the shop to do. Kind of wish I would have put another door there, but do need a corner to fabricate and stuff like that. So I think we're fine. But yeah, we're doing good. We're doing good. Typhoon's getting a lot of love. Greg did his textbook tagging on things. This is actually why the channel is called Racer X Garage, because we've had a couple junk vehicles in the past. This is not a junk vehicle. This is a junk fender. But we've had a couple of vehicles in the past, and somehow Greg gets a can of spray paint and sprays paint Racer X on it. And if you look at the very, very first video of this channel, which is me picking up my Dakota, you can see on the tailgate, the tailgate has Racer X on it, and that's kind of how the name got started. So if you guys are interested in that, that's where that came from. So yeah, I got a lot of sweeping to do, a lot of things. I think they're going to do a lot of shop projects this summer, so that's going to be that's going to be a lot of the content, other than trying to move some stuff around, because there's another thing I want this door open for, and that's to maybe start on the V10 in the black Dakota. So couple things on the burner for sure. So we got a lot of stuff going on. If you are new to the channel, this is what we got. We got this, and we got a little bit more. And we'd love to have you come hang out with us. And we're always working on something. So please consider subscribing. We'd love to have you along. We try to interact as much as possible. And, if you got a question or something, please fill it out down there. I have been getting some questions in my personal Facebook, which I didn't really expect. So I just realized a lot of them went to like this interesting folder that I didn't know was there. So I've responded to some of those, but I don't pay attention to a lot of those. So if you do have questions, either leave them in the comments. It's the easiest way for me to respond at the moment. Or you can check out our Instagram or our Racer X Garage Facebook and send us a message there. Because, we get some questions from time to time on things, and I try to respond to those as much as possible. But again, I just found a whole bunch of them in this weird folder in my personal stuff. I don't really accept a lot of personal requests on my personal Facebook. And I'm just putting this out there because I've been getting a lot of that lately. So I'd rather that kind of just keep my family and friends on there. But if you follow the page and message or comment and stuff like that, that's the best way to get a hold of me. That's what I'm getting at. So anyways, yeah, at the Racer X Garage is our socials, and that's on Facebook and Instagram. Obviously, this is YouTube, and it's just Racer X Garage there. But if you want to get a t-shirt and support channel or something else like that, check out racerxgarage.com. We've got a few products on there, hoping to add that as we go. We've recently passed 5,000 subscribers, and that means the world to us. Thank you guys very much. I'm going to stop babbling, and I'm going to get the truck on the trailer and get ready to go to make a couple test hits, which you guys will see on the next video. So until then, y'all be good.